Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Learn English with Football with me, Teacher Zdenek, and Clive. Hi,
Hi,
Clive.
good evening.
The West Ham fan, and also Paul.
Yeah,
Hello, Paul.
Hello, Zenek.
The Liverpool fan. So, are you guys all right?
yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty good as well. Yes.
Good. Good. So, not much in terms of Premier League going on this week, right? So, there was only one match.
Yeah.
That was Watford Burnley or Burnley Watford.
Uh-huh.
That was a goalless draw. Did you guys see it?
thankfully, no.
I
A
saw
nil-nil draw.
the last 30 minutes and it was quite exciting, to be honest, because the last 30 minutes, both teams need to win. A draw wasn't good enough for either team. And so, yeah, it was end to end when I saw of it.
I don't know what it is about you, Paul, yeah, but this is not the first time I hear this from you, that you find goalless draws exciting. Like, it was
I
so
like
boring.
goalless draws, yeah.
I'm sorry, mate, but it was so boring. Like, I couldn't stand that game.
No, but it's tense until the end. I know, like, the media and the commentators always want a goal. It's like, oh, sorry, no goals today, 0-0. But I like these games. It's tense. Like, teams still, unless it's two teams being defensive and, like, not trying to score. But when it's 0-0, it's a close match. It's tense right until the end.
There's something wrong about you, Paul. I'm sorry. I actually agree with Clive, who says, thankfully, no. Thankfully means fortunately. Fortunately, what Clive is saying is fortunately I didn't see it. Clive, could you elaborate on that?
Certainly, yeah. I have been quite busy because I've been doing quite a lot of work for the background stuff for my own channel. So the only game that I actually watched this weekend, or over the last few days, was the West Ham, Kidderminster West Ham game in the FA Cup. I didn't actually watch any of the other games, any of the FA Cup games. I haven't even watched any of the highlights because I've been busy doing other stuff.
Didn't you see Manchester United on Friday night? No.
Well, I was in the pub and it was playing.
Yeah.
I don't remember the whistle for the second half. I think I'd probably had too many by that point. But no, I didn't watch it. No, I didn't really pay much attention to the game while I was conscious of it. You know. No, to be honest with you, the only game that interested me was the West Ham game this weekend because it
was the most interesting match, to be honest, I thought.
Yeah, and you know, we very nearly tripped over our own shoelaces really on that day. You know, we very nearly did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. I actually realized that I forgot to mention that you guys obviously have your own YouTube channel. So at the bottom, you guys can see Clive's YouTube channel. It's a brand new one as well, Clive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks old, and there's not very much content on there yet. Yeah. I have actually got a show premiering at 11 p.m. UK time tonight. Yeah, and basically it's just the show that's premiering tonight is just me talking to an American chap from Auburn, Alabama.
Wow.
He's a West Ham fan. He hasn't been a West Ham fan for very long, and he hasn't actually been watching proper football for very long either. By proper football, I mean association football, if that's the correct term nowadays.
Okay.
Rather than NFL American style football. But he's a very interesting guy. His story is quite unique. So
it's always interesting to see the contrast with English and football and Americans as well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's a really interesting guy, really good, getting to know him. He's ex-military, so really, really decent chap, So I'm quite happy about that. There's a couple of other little shows on the channel, but feel free to check it out.
What is Greenstreet? So I know it's in the film.
Yeah, well, Greenstreet, actually, if you separated the green and the street, that's the name of the road that Upton Park Stadium was in.
Okay.
Greenstreet, you know, it's Greenstreet, London E7. I mean, obviously the street is still there, and Upton Park Station is on Greenstreet.
Okay.
And a number of the pubs that you may be familiar with, you know,
about,
by name.
Clive, what about the stadium? Obviously, that's the stadium that you all cherished so much. That's the one you used to have as West Ham before the London Stadium. So does it still stand, or?
No. There's I believe it's abodes, homes now. The stadium was completely levelled and they redeveloped the land, which is a real shame because, you know, even though we've moved to the London Stadium and, you know, gradually we are making it home. I mean, I know that Arsenal struggled when they first went to the Emirates. Tottenham really haven't got that problem so much because it was built on the same site as their old stadium. So, yeah, but they still have a problem at times with the atmosphere because the size of the stadium creates smaller pockets of atmosphere. It's whereas like I've actually been to Anfield, not recently, but back in the 80s, I went to Anfield, and you know, I mean, if one person started singing, everybody started singing because you could hear them across the pitch almost. You know, it was incredible.
It's close.
And it was the same. It was the same at Upton Park, and it was actually the same at Highbury. Although I have to say, Arsenal fans were never really big on singing. They never really have been.
They didn't have many songs, did they? Really?
No.
There's nothing to sing about, so that's why.
You said it, buddy, not me.
All right, you said that the size of the stadium creates smaller pockets of atmosphere. Did you say when describing the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or the London Stadium?
I'm talking general large stadiums.
So
I've only actually experienced the London Stadium, and it is very evident there. But I'm told by people that have been to the Emirates, and I'm told by people that have been to the Etihad Stadium, that it's very much like that. You know, a lot of these newer stadiums are actually creating smaller pockets of.
So it means that the people don't support their teams in unison. Like it's just in certain areas of the stadium they start shouting, screaming, and singing, and then over there, over here. But it's not like the whole stadium is singing. And cheering.
I suppose it's like where the songs generate in certain parts of stadiums. Like in the Cop at Anfield or Stretford End. If you then relocated to a new stadium, all those people who sat in those places have been relocated as well, and they might have been relocated to a part of the stadium that doesn't have that natural ability to generate the songs from. And so it's calibrating to the new.
I mean, you know, obviously with Liverpool, you know, if they start singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," you'll probably find everybody in the stadium that supports Liverpool will sing along because that will build, because that is your anthem. And it's the same with "Forever Blowing Bubbles" at the London Stadium. You know, if one pocket of people start singing it, then the next pocket along will start singing it, and it will spread quite quickly. You know, I mean, like from the first verse to the last verse, it'll go right round the stadium, and then they'll do it all again together, you know. So it does actually work with certain songs, but then, you know, we might have one particular player on this side of the pitch and another player over the other side of the pitch, and they're singing about him and we're singing about this guy, and people down at that end are singing about this guy, and you know, it happens a lot. I noticed it because I've been to the stadium 5 times now, and each time I've been, with the exception of 2 times, I've been to a different stand, just different, part of the ground. So I've actually witnessed all 4 stands at London Stadium. But for me, the best atmosphere was in I think it's called the Bobby Moore Lower. It was great in there, absolutely brilliant in there. It was just like the old atmosphere at.
You're quite lucky to have the stadium now, I think.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know how fortunate we were to get it, and I know how fortunate we are not to have to pay so much money for it.
It's like a rental fee every year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a couple of million, I think, some ridiculous number. It's not a lot. I mean, the stadium runs at a loss, and that's why we won't buy it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, sorry, that's actually not an official statement. I might wear the badge, but I don't actually represent the club. That's an opinion. That's a personal opinion.
That's an opinion.
But it's actually quite of many. Yeah, it's
of Greenstreet elites. Yeah.
Yeah.
But very nice. I like all this inside knowledge of a football fan that actually goes to the ground to support their team. I love it. I love it.
I have to be honest, and I stopped going to games in 1986 through various reasons. One of them was close to becoming a father, etc.
Were you banned from the stadium?
No.
What did you do, Clive? Tell us.
I was never a bad boy. Well, my police record doesn't show that I ever.
We saw what happened to the Nottingham Forest team when one of the Leicester fans actually invaded the pitch and started fighting one of the Nottingham Forest players when they were celebrating one of their goals, right? And then after that, he got banned from going to football. So hopefully Clive doesn't have a ban like that.
No. The only reason I stopped going for personal reasons, really, and I only started going again this season. So I've seen 3 Premiership games, 1 FA Cup game, and 1 European Europa Cup game, Europa League. Sorry.
All right. So this was a kind of a joke. Paul asked Clive, have you been banned? So if you get banned, you do something so bad, like probably invade the pitch or attack someone, that in England you would get maybe a lifetime ban. You will no longer be able to actually go to the stadium and support your team. So I think
and I think also that the ban also includes all public licensed houses, pubs, clubs, and restaurants within a mile.
Which is maybe even worse. Which is maybe even worse for some people than the actual ban.
Because they can't go into one of the local pubs where all the local support is going to be and enjoy the game with local support. It's really, really difficult for people that do get lifetime bans. On match day, they're not allowed to be within a mile.
Does it apply to just that particular team, or can that person, let's say, I know it's weird, but can that person start supporting a different team?
I would imagine they may be able to under certain circumstances. I would have thought that if it was something of a violent nature, you would probably go onto a national database of some kind.
Yeah.
And you would be banned from all stadia of all, sports, I would think. I may be wrong, but I would have thought that all the stadia to do with football you would be banned from. Obviously non-league football and stuff, you would probably still be able to enjoy, but
you can play in the park, sure.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, exactly that. Do you support a team that are in Europe, and then all of a sudden, they can't even get out of their hometown.
Yeah.
So, you know.
All right, fantastic. This is Paul's YouTube channel, English for Football Fans. You have recently published a video there, haven't you, Paul?
Yeah, last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Nature or nurture? Are footballers born or made? Was the title of my video. It's just me giving my opinions about trying to justify why I didn't make it as a professional footballer. Why I'm a failed footballer.
Did you play at a good level then, Paul?
Semi-professional. Nothing too. It became really serious, and you need real dedication and commitment, and that wasn't me, really.
Oh, I know. I was playing like county level football, and I could have gone back. Could have gone further.
Yeah.
But I was also really good at judo as well, and I was competing at the highest level in judo. And I got an injury playing football, which stopped me from going to the Olympics. So,
wow.
But I wasn't actually selected for the team, but I was in the selection process. I was in the selection process. At the time, I was the youngest black belt in the country, so I think I would have gone.
Yeah. Judo.
Sorry, I was just writing down your YouTube channel name.
Okay. Yeah, I try to teach English using football, similar to what Zenek does. I've been going a couple of years. I've got a number of videos now. It just depends on how I'm feeling. My next video, I want to talk about the different language what Americans and English people use in football. Because I'm trying to preserve the Britishness. It's creeping into football a little bit now. I hear people talking about fields and what else, like the locker room. And
yeah.
A few Americanized words.
Yeah. So the locker room would be the dressing room.
Yes.
So there's all that creeping in, and so I'm trying to
How does it make you feel when you hear words like that creeping in to the language?
Is another one. Yeah. I just it frustrates me a little bit because America doesn't care about football, and I understand America is pushing the spread of English around the world, but then it doesn't really care about football. So
you mean they don't care about soccer, right?
Yeah. So
that's what you mean.
They do care about the money it can generate, though.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure if America gets involved, it would generate more money as well. You see with the pre-season tours, what some of the big clubs do there. It frustrates me because football is part of culture in the UK. It's 100 years, 200 years, part of language. It's part of life.
Here's just a small example of how powerful American money is in the Premiership. Okay. And this isn't, I'm not talking about Manchester United here now or anything like that.
Well, Liverpool is
when Frank Lampard left Chelsea and went to New York, signed for New York.
Yeah.
The first game of football he played was for Manchester City.
Yeah.
That was always the plan, I think.
I
think it was always the plan for him to play for Manchester City. But to do it without causing too much of a problem, with the financial fair play and all that kind of thing, he was sold to New York and immediately loaned on the same day to Manchester City.
Yeah, it must be.
So that's an example of how powerful American money can be. Now, we know that it's Saudis that own Manchester City, but you have a look at where a lot of their offices are. You'll find them in New York, Baltimore, LA, places like that, So it's American money they're working with as well as their own, But, the fact that an American club was a part of that deal.
Well, there's a few in the Premier League, isn't there? As you mentioned, Arsenal have American owners, Manchester United do, Liverpool do, Aston Villa as well. I think Aston Villa have. I think they do.
Yeah, I think
I
you're
think they
right.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, American money's creeping into a lot of
Yeah, just checked it. Yeah,
a lot of sports. And it's not just the football. I mean, you look at the boxing and all this, that, and the other. I mean, it's all pay-per-view now with boxing and things like that. It's crazy. It's crazy the way the Americanisms have actually taken over a lot of the sporting element.
Yeah.
And I talk about it in that video how I talk about poverty being a good motivation to become a footballer, but in America, it's not played by the poor kids. Really, you don't see people kicking a football.
No, it's played by the college graduates and that.
Yeah, it's a middle class sport or like a women's
sport.
It is. But if it does reach the ghettos, if people start seeing some representation or some black athletes, black football players, black American football players, world famous, raking in millions, it will take off in America. Then, I think.
I agree with you. Mm-hmm. So there's some language I would like to explain. So first of all, when they start raking it, I like this one. So you're talking about the athletes from, let's say, minorities, ethnic minorities, and if they see examples of some players who really make it to the top level, when they start raking it, they will kind of idolize them, and they will look up to them, and they will want to be like them. So to start raking it means to start making a lot of money. Okay, it's an English idiom. Yeah. Imagine you are raking leaves, let's say in autumn. You're raking money. You're so much money that you have to rake. You have to rake it. Then this is the name of Paul's latest video on his YouTube channel that is called English for Football Fans. And so nature or nurture. Usually we use this to refer to basically, let's say, when people come of age or when people become adults, like when we look at how they are as people, what are they like? So do they have a good personality? And is it because of the genes, or is it because not the genes that you wear, the DNA? Is it because of that, or is it do they behave? Are they like that because of the upbringing, because of their parents? So this is always the question of, is it nature or is it nurture? So Paul used this idea and kind of implemented it sort of adjusted it to the football. To football.
Are footballers born or made?
Yeah. Exactly. So that's a really, really interesting idea.
It's really interesting question.
Absolutely.
It was because of the documentary on BT Sport recently about South London. And South London produced 14% of the English Premier League players last season. They all came from South London. 14%, which is, I thought, wow, that's a high number. They all come from South London, and they made the documentary about it. And it's quite a deprived area, but also a lot of ethnic minorities, and they see people doing well. It's a way out of
poverty
in some way.
Another really cool phrase I like. I can't remember what Clive was talking about, but I think we were kind of comparing the popularity of different sports in America, I think, and you were talking. You mentioned boxing, right, or something, and you said that it's popular, right? Is that what you wanted to say, or something like that? Anyway, but I like this phrase: this, that, and it should be the other, right? I made a mistake.
This,
that, and the other. So it's like a kind of. It's like when you are giving an example, it could be boxing, but it could be this or that or the other. And these type of phrases are called trinomial phrases. So that's when you have three words which are in some way connected by meaning. Yeah, so this, that, those are like demonstrative pronouns, and then you have the other. So it's a cool phrase to use, and the more phrases like this you use, guys, the more you will sound, the more natural you will sound, actually. Yeah, here, there, and everywhere. Do you guys know any more? Here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Cool, calm, and collected. What else?
Yes,
what else do you know?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
you keep coming up with them all.
Because I always teach it. I always teach it. Yeah, tall, dark, and handsome.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have one that doesn't really make a lot of sense, unless, of course, you're a fan of the Avengers and Marvel. Lean, green, and mean.
I have no idea what that is.
means nothing, does it?
Yeah, but then there's left, right, and center. Yeah, so you guys can just Google trinomial phrases. Yeah, trinomial phrases. I think I misspelled it again. Trinomial. Yeah, I think it's correct. Trinomial phrases. And then you will find
T-R-I.
Yeah. T. Oh yeah, I forgot about I. Yeah. Sorry about that. Trinomial. Yeah. Yes. Okay. There you go. Trinomial phrases. Yeah. Here like this. All right. So that's that. We started talking about a lot of different things, but we didn't really talk about any football. Well, any football matches, so we need to do that now. So we will start with our regular thing. So we're gonna talk about our hero. Well, first let's talk about the matches we have seen. Yeah, so there is this. Okay, so myself, I have seen Burnley, Watford, which is the only Premier League match. I've seen West Ham against Kidderminster Harriers.
Yeah.
Then I have seen some bits and pieces, some highlights, and then also yesterday I saw the AFCON final, which has nothing to do with the Premier League, but we might as well touch upon it. How about you guys?
Clive said before, didn't he? He only caught the West Ham match. I fell asleep in extra time in the AFCON final. I think it sent me to sleep. But I saw Manchester United hilariously lose to Middlesbrough when they battered them in the first half. Ronaldo missed a penalty. Even in the second half, Fernandes missed the sitter. But they lost. Unbelievably, they lost. And then I saw Kidderminster, West Ham. I saw another one on Saturday.
Tottenham.
Chelsea. That was Plymouth.
Chelsea. Chelsea, Plymouth played at the same time.
Yeah,
as West
same
Ham.
time, didn't they?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
So I didn't see that one. I saw bits of Tottenham, Brighton.
Yeah.
Tottenham did well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Harry Kane woke up suddenly, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got a couple, didn't he?
So you said that they battered them in the first half. So Manchester United battered Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So that means they were destroying them. They destroyed them. They had 30 shots, and then yet they managed to lose on penalties. Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
All right, Clive. So you only saw the West Ham match, right?
I did, yes, yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. Now let's just deal with the hero of the week and villain of the week first, and then we can discuss some of the matches too. So, who is your hero of the week, guys? Let's start with Clive.
My hero of the week. My hero of the week has to be Declan Rice. This may sound like I repeat myself, but without Declan Rice's intervention on Saturday, there is no way I could see us winning that game. I thought we would lose it. I thought that was it. Gone.
Yeah,
FA Cup dreams fade and die again. But Declan Rice came on, made a massive difference. And I'm going to give you a little phrase here, Janek. He absolutely bossed the midfield.
Yeah, okay.
He ran the show.
All right, so Declan Rice, your hero of the week, and let's have a look at he absolutely bossed. I misspelled it again. God damn it, guys! You will forgive me. Bossed. The D is right next to S. That's why this happened. So he absolutely bossed the past tense of to boss something. He bossed the midfield. So a boss.
Actually,
you
like could use it in the context that it is now, because he does that every week.
That is right. When you use it in present simple, in present simple tense, absolutely. So normally this word is a noun, right? A boss, your manager, or your gaffer, or whoever. But here it's used as a verb, which is slightly more unusual, and I think it's also less formal. It's definitely less formal, kind of almost like slang. Yeah. So if you boss the midfield, it means you're the man in the midfield. You really you have full control of the game, and you pull the strings. Another good phrase. You pull the strings. Yeah. So you took the wind out of my sails, Clive, because I was going to say Declan Rice myself. So now instead I have to.
Declan Rice appreciation show, isn't it? Again?
Yeah, but it's true. It's true. It's just how I felt it as well. Yeah, from all those matches that I've watched. But I'm gonna try to improvise here. Yeah, so I'm going to say the hero of the week is that referee from that AFCON final. Because
he was a character, wasn't he?
No, I thought he a lot of players he let off a lot of players. There could have been a lot of red cards in that match, but I think he showed what do you call this, like basically he decided to let the game flow, and that made it more interesting, because if he had sent anyone off, I think that could have been game over. One of the teams would have started defending, and so
Victor Gomez, his name, wasn't it? He was speaking to the players, wasn't he? He was.
I really liked
kicks, but not giving cards.
I really liked
a little lecture to the players.
I really liked his personality, and he looked like he was the right person to referee that final. Honestly,
where was he from? Do you know?
I don't know, no. But I liked him a lot. I liked his personality and the manner of his refereeing, and I thought he did a good job. He probably let Mane off a bit because he dived twice. He wanted a penalty, and he was already on a yellow card. He could have been sent off. Then it was Mane who scored the winning penalty in the shootout. Yeah, so.
Can we go back to Declan Rice? I don't know if you have seen any of these shows before, Clive, but I think that Declan Rice is overrated.
He always says it, Clive. He always says, "Is this the first time you guys? Is this the first time you guys see each other? Is this the first time?" Yeah. Okay. Yes. So Clive, Paul, we love Paul. He has brilliant insight every single time. But there's one thing I don't understand, and that's his attitude to Declan Rice. I don't get it.
I'm trying to understand. I don't understand it myself. My friends say, "Oh, Declan Rice is a good player, isn't he?"
So I actually have a retort for you on the Declan Rice subject. As a Liverpool fan, you don't watch Declan Rice week in, week out doing what he does. So therefore, I humbly say that you wouldn't know how good he is. Okay, because you don't watch him. I'm not meaning this as any form of insult or anything like that. It's purely, an observation. I don't know how good Mane is. I can see it in highlights, but I don't know how good Jordan Henderson is or whatever, because I don't watch him week in, week out, whereas you do. So as a West Ham fan, I tend to see what's good and what's bad in our players, and I don't see that anything in Declan Rice that would make me go, oh, I don't know, is he really that good? I don't see it. He is so on the money.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot here. Mm-hmm. I'll probably get a lot of stick from any West Ham fans that might be watching, and from any real football purists. Mm-hmm. But Declan Rice puts me in mind of Bobby Moore in some respects. Mm-hmm. He can read the game well. He can track a man and then just stick his foot out and take the ball away. Similar stuff to what Bobby Moore used to do. Now, Declan Rice is a lot more dynamic than Bobby Moore ever was. Bobby Moore was very calm, very, precise about what he did. Yeah. Very rarely did he lose the ball. I don't believe he ever got himself booked. Mm-hmm. So.
And I think Declan Rice would play, if he played in Bobby Moore's era, he would be a centre half, I think.
Yes, really and that's what he was originally when he was at the academy and so on and so forth. It's David Moyes and also Pellegrini, not so much so with Pellegrini, but David Moyes is the one that's pushed Declan Rice further forward, and it's paying dividends because yes, he is scoring some goals, not many, but he's scoring some goals. He's getting a few assists. But every single defender that plays for West Ham United are at ease when they know that Declan Rice is on the pitch, because they know that he's there as the fifth man. Yeah, and all of the attacking midfielders, they all know that they're all at ease when Declan Rice is there because they know he's the fourth man.
He's a strong, powerful player. He is a good player.
And I understand that you might think that he's overrated, but all I suggest is that watch a few video reels of him. I mean, I know these YouTube ones are very flattering.
Yeah.
But try and find some mistakes of his on YouTube. They should be up there too. You won't find many.
Yeah.
You won't find many.
I could listen, but
I think Clive, I think Paul will come round eventually, don't worry.
I am coming round, to be honest.
It's written in the stars. When he I'm sorry, Clive. It's both you and I know it's going to happen at some point. He will leave. He will leave. He will leave West Ham at some point. He's better than West Ham. Let's be honest. As much as I love West Ham, he's better than West Ham. And then when Paul sees him in the Liverpool shirt, he'll definitely speak differently.
I don't think he would play for Liverpool.
I personally believe that it's going to be Chelsea.
I think it's Chelsea.
Because of
it could
his mate, yeah.
Mate,
Chelsea when he was young.
It could be Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford him.
Well, who is this? Mason Mount, his best mate at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Is it Mason Mount? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's his best friend. He used to play with him. They're friends.
Yeah.
They've
grown up since they were 4 years old or something.
He's trying to lure him.
Yeah, of course. And Declan makes no secret of the fact that he is a Chelsea fan.
Mm-hmm.
He loves the club he plays for, but he's a Chelsea fan.
No.
If he's not able to play, for argument's sake, let's just say for argument's sake, he's got a broken ankle and he's not able to play. Touch wood. I hope that doesn't happen. But just say, and if someone was to say to him, right, oh look, here's a ticket for Chelsea. He probably has a season ticket anyway. But if someone said to him, look, there's a ticket for Chelsea and West Ham are also playing, I have a feeling that he would go to the Chelsea game. He's not able to do anything for West Ham. He's not able to play or anything other than his leadership abilities. There's not much else he can do on the day. Once that whistle blows, not a lot he can do. So why not go and watch a game of the team you support?
All right, cool.
I actually, I think he probably would.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll probably get a lot of stick from West Ham fans. So you said this, Clive, when you were about to compare Declan Rice with Bobby Moore. Am I right, or something like that?
Yes.
So
loosely,
it means
loosely compared.
Yeah. So basically, what this phrase "to get a lot of stick from someone" means is to be criticized by someone. So I'm going to come under a lot of criticism from West Ham fans. Yes. Okay. You also said that's what Paul said. I understand that. That you might this is what Clive said it. I understand that you might think he's overrated, but try to watch YouTube videos. Yeah. So to be overrated means to be if a player is overrated, it means that people think that player is better than he actually is. Okay. To give someone too much credit, basically.
He's a good player, and I am coming round. Are you going to explain coming round? I
am, yeah.
Because I think I'm realizing that he's limited in some things. Like his passing range is limited. I still think positionally he gets caught a little bit. I think I want to see him develop and push on and drive forward like he was doing against Kidderminster more, like against bigger teams in bigger matches. So I often see him just sitting next to the centre-backs. No wonder the centre-backs love him playing, because he's next to them all game. And I want to see him, boss the midfield more in the bigger matches. And
I understand, yeah.
Okay.
But we have other players around him that do that. He does that as and when the opportunity is there.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm coming round. Like in modern football, there is a position for a defensive midfielder, and there's not many better than Declan Rice at the moment.
Wow. By the end of the show, he will be saying that Declan Rice is the best player in the Premier League. You will see, Clive. Because it looks like Paul is really...
I do.
It looks like Paul is really coming round. Well, by his own admission, he is coming round. And to come round is a fantastic phrasal verb which you can use to say that you are gradually changing your opinion. Yeah, you're changing your mind on something, usually your opinion, really. So before, Paul used to say that Declan Rice is overrated and he doesn't understand all the hype and why Clive is saying what Clive is saying. But now after hearing all those arguments, I think Paul is coming around. Yeah, Paul, tell us who your hero of the week is.
So we haven't spoken about Liverpool yet, have we? So I need to get Liverpool in there somehow. And I think my hero of the week is Harvey Elliott. So he came on. He came on with Luis Diaz after like 55 minutes on the match on Sunday, and he was brilliant. And Harvey Elliott was playing for Liverpool. He was ahead of Naby Keita. He was ahead of Oxlade-Chamberlain. He was ahead of Curtis Jones. He was starting every week in the midfield until he got a serious injury after about like 6 or 7 games. So it was his first match back. He came on and he was brilliant. Honestly, he was really good. 19-year-old, small, really skillful, really cultured left foot. He scored a nice goal, and his goal was the moment of the week for me. It got me out of my armchair. It was a nice goal. Even though it was the third, it was a nice goal. I was really pleased for him, so he is my hero of the week. Yeah.
Great stuff.
So how long was he injured for? I understand that his injury was quite serious, and the predictions were not looking very good. So I'm surprised he's back so early.
Yeah, he broke his leg. It was a break from a tackle. So yeah, he's back. What? It must have been in October when that happened. So he is back quite.
I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So he did really well with all his recovery, and let's be honest, it's also his age. Like how old is he? 19, 20?
19.
Yeah. So when you're 19, you know.
You've also got to give credit to the medical and coaching staff at Liverpool. I mean, the job they do is quite often forgotten by us supporters. you know. And when I first started broadcasting on Random, West Ham Random, which was the channel that I was more associated with last time I came on, we did a little live feed about the coaching staff. You know, we gave them all a mention on what they did and how long they'd been with the club and so on. You know, because a lot of people are unaware of what some of these guys do. You know, I mean, they don't realise how important, like the dietitians and people like that are. You know, and you know,
big team of people now, isn't it?
It's massive now, and you know, like, yeah, that's how a 19-year-old can recover from a leg break in a little over 10, 12 weeks or whatever it is.
Yeah.
14 weeks or so.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. I had a broken leg when I was 19. It took me 3 months to play football again.
Yeah, it was the end of a career for a lot of people. Like if you tear your ligaments, even like 15 years ago.
Yeah. I would say broken leg is actually not the worst. Actually, you know, of all the injuries you can have, is definitely not the worst. You said that Harvey Elliott is a really has really cultured left foot. So I wonder, the word cultured, it's going to be a little bit hard for me to explain, but it's like a good taste, right? It's how would you cultured, you say, we also say something like cultured midfielder, right? I think it means like he has a good refined, it's like a refined taste for football. It's hard to explain this. How would
elegant.
Elegant, yeah, elegant is another one, yeah. Elegant,
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, shall we do the villains of the week? Okay, let's see. Let me just quickly play this.
This is where I redeem myself with the rest of the West Ham faithful.
Go for it, Clive.
Andrei Yarmolenko.
You don't like him?
No, I don't dislike him. He's a very nice man, and he's done really well learning English and so on and so forth. But for the best part of 3 years, he's been stealing a living off of West Ham United. You know, he came out on Saturday, starting 11. In what we would normally consider the position you would see Bowen in, which is out on the right wing. He came out. He was woeful at best. He dived to try and cheat a non-league team out of a win. I find that very distasteful. It really did leave a bad taste in my mouth, and it still has now. Even talking about it, I find it highly, highly disgusting. I mean, the man's on 115 grand a week, and he tried to cheat boys that are earning less than 500 quid playing football. I mean, that's just disgusting.
I have seen some videos by West Ham fans, by different West Ham fans, and they all mentioned Yarmolenko. And the worst thing, it's not that he played so badly; it's that dive that he made. He tried to win a penalty with a blatant dive. It was so bad. He didn't. That defender didn't touch him a slightest bit, and it was so bad. And he was like waving his arms as if, what's going on? Why is this not a penalty?
His foot was more than a foot away from Yarmolenko's foot.
Yeah,
that was a ridiculous thing.
It left a bad taste in Clive's mouth. I think it means that they won. Yeah, so he should be happy, but he couldn't come away being happy from that match, Clive, because of that. It's like a stain. Yeah, let's say stain on that performance, on that win, which was otherwise a good win. But this is embarrassing, and I think Clive is a little bit embarrassed by what happened there. Yeah,
and another phrase to describe how that is that the better team on the day didn't win.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we were woeful, absolutely woeful.
Woeful. I love this word as well. Woeful is like awful, terrible, shambolic. Yeah.
Embarrassingly bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Paul,
In layman's terms.
in layman's terms, yeah. So, Paul, who is your villain of the week?
I don't know really. I also think Crawl. I know it's sticking with West Ham.
He's a Czech player. Yeah.
And because you had Czech, I know this is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He was disastrous, wasn't he? Running around that.
Do you know what Král means in Czech?
I know. What does it mean?
King. Direct. It's a direct translation. King. There was. Yeah. I think there are two reasons why you guys bought Král. Yeah. One of them is the name, and the second one is the hair. Yeah, but
we haven't had a mop hair for a long time. We needed one. Fellaini didn't want to come.
A mop hair, so you guys know what mop is. You use it for mopping your floor, yeah. So mop hair is like hair which looks like a mop.
I've started calling him Sideshow Bob.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him because I think he needs to prove himself, because he hasn't really been. The manager doesn't seem to trust him, and I don't think he has given him enough opportunities, and that's why I fear the worst with him, really.
I don't think we're going to extend his loan.
No, it's not happening.
Or take up the option.
He's going to return back to his castle.
His first game, which was the Carabao Cup game against Manchester United, the one when we won, he absolutely nailed it.
He bossed the midfield.
He nailed it. He was really good. I mean, he wasn't exceptional, but he was really good. And we thought, this is going to happen. Yeah. And it hasn't. It really hasn't.
Yeah, he absolutely nailed it. Means he did brilliantly. He did really exceptionally well. Paul, so would you like to add?
Surely the villain of the week, is Mason Greenwood.
Are we gonna talk about Mason? Oh no, we did it last week.
Did you? Okay.
The thing is, he can be the villain of the week every single week from now on. To be honest, because there's nothing worse than that, right? Yeah. So.
Well, I was thinking of Ronaldo, to be honest.
That's mine. Keep your Král. Yeah, I'm not going to shoot into my own regiment. Yeah, I'm gonna say Ronaldo. Okay, tell us why. Ronaldo.
He missed the penalty, and he didn't score. Really, playing against Middlesbrough, he didn't score. He didn't really look like scoring from open play. I can't remember him having a chance, and he was desperate to score as well. He could see that he was like, this is the type of match where he usually fills his boots and gets his scoring record up, and he wanted to desperately but didn't. And
he looked really frustrated after that miss. It was a poor miss as well. He didn't even hit the goal. He didn't. Yeah. He missed. It went wide. Ronaldo,
I heard an interesting statement. I don't know how true it is, but I heard an interesting statement from a Manchester United source, and I can't remember what the source was called, that Man United had bought Cristiano Ronaldo to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, I think, Carragher put on his Instagram his argument with Keane, where Carragher was saying about you don't buy Ronaldo to win a cup. And they were arguing about, why do you buy Ronaldo? You don't buy it to win a cup, you buy him to win the league now.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And he's failed, hasn't he?
But that's quite an interesting business acumen, isn't it, really? Buying the most expensive, one of the greatest players of all time, undeniably with the ball at his feet, and you're buying him to win a bit of silverware. Just
Do you know
one piece
what?
of silverware.
Guys,
You go for the lot. Yes.
don't you think that Manchester United bought him because they wanted to prevent Manchester City from buying him? Because it was City who were after him first, and then once Manchester United heard it, obviously he is a Manchester United legend, right? So
Yeah.
they couldn't bear. They
Ferguson-
couldn't bear the thought of a rival club signing Ronaldo. So I think that was probably part of it too.
Yeah.
Which is why they wouldn't sell Jesse Lingard to us, because we're challenging their league position
And Clive,
and any silverware.
And Clive, now there was another chance in this transfer window, right? To get Lingard for you for West Ham, but I heard that it was probably the Mason Greenwood stuff that that changed the whole thing. Is that fair assessment?
That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a totally independent view on it, I would have said, and it's probably a fair view. You know, as a West Ham fan, I believe that they used the Mason Greenwood story as an excuse not to let us have him. I think they were already. There's another one that you can explain as well. They were already dragging their heels on the Lingard deal. We should have had it done by the 5th of January. It was already in place. Yeah. We'd already agreed with him what money he was going to be on, and so kind of, it was already sort of like spoken about. It must have been, and by the 5th of January, we should have had him in claret and blue. He's not. He's not even wearing red.
Yeah.
You're striker short, I think, West Ham at the moment.
We're 2 strikers short.
Yeah, that's right.
We have one striker.
I don't understand why West Ham made no signings.
And he's a right back, by the way.
Yeah.
Our striker is a right back.
Are you talking about Mikel Antonio?
I am talking about the Beast. Yes, I am.
The Beast, yeah.
Well, what happened to Haller? Has he been sold or is he on loan?
To Ajax.
He got sold to Ajax, and now he's looking to get the Champions League record for goals in the season.
He is amazing. He's amazing
really
for Ajax. Yeah, he's excellent there.
Yeah, but then that's because Ajax want him to be lazy. They want him to just hang around by the 18-yard box.
Yeah, he wasn't very good for West Ham, was he? He didn't.
He's no good for the Premiership.
Yeah,
too lazy for it. Now you'll find quite a few players that have come to the Premiership can't handle the pace of the game.
Yeah.
And they look lazy. They may not be lazy, but they look like they're lazy because they can't keep up the effort and the work rate that these younger, well, not younger, but these fitter, more prepared guys are. Sebastian Haller, I think, was a victim of his own undoing, if you know what I mean. He didn't want to adapt his game to suit the Premiership. Yeah. He didn't choose to. I'm not saying he didn't want to. He didn't choose to. Yeah. And when someone scores their first goal for the team, what you expect from them is a few smiles and a little bit of celebration and, go up and cuddle one of your teammates and get thrown around a little bit and stuff. Yeah. He went like that. He went, just put his arms out and didn't look. Miserable sod.
Okay, going back to the expression that you wanted me to explain, Clive. So they were already dragging their heels on the Lingard deal. So you're referring to Manchester United board being unwilling to sell Lingard, and if you drag your heels, you kind of unwilling to make the deal happen. You're kind of deliberately kind of slowing it down and
that's exactly what my angle was.
Yeah.
Slowing down the process.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's just we've been talking for so long, and I still feel like we haven't covered even 1/3 of what I wanted to talk about. So okay, let's quickly go through it. So 2 big upsets in the FA Cup, yeah. So Manchester United are out. We discussed it. So they were the better team, but they lost on penalties. Ronaldo missed a penalty. Yeah, but it was in the regular time actually. Yeah. And then we need to mention Nottingham Forest. I almost accidentally mentioned Spurs. Oh my God.
That was a really good game.
So Paul, tell us more about it.
I've only watched Forest against Arsenal in the FA Cup and then against Leicester, but every time I've seen them, they've got some really good young players. The right back, Penny, is good. They have like James Garner in midfield, that Brennan Johnson, the forward that on loan from Villa, Keenan Davis. They've got a really good team. Yeah, they've got a really good young team.
I like that, Keenan.
Because of that, Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper has got these young players in on loan. He uses the loan system really well. But it was a great atmosphere. There's a rivalry between Forest and Leicester. They're the biggest rival.
This is a derby. It's a East Midlands derby. Yeah,
East Midlands derby. Yeah.
It is. Their grounds are only about 35 miles away from each other.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. So obviously
it's similar to Crystal Palace and Brighton. Similar distance.
Yeah.
The whole stadium was singing, "We're going to have a party when Derby County die." So like the rivals with Derby as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I was impressed by Forest. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously this is a championship side, yeah. So it's we could call it a giant killing. So at first they beat Arsenal, yeah, in the previous round. Now they knocked out Leicester City.
Yeah, easily.
And it's 4-1. That's, I would say, a demolition.
Yeah. But they were bottom of the league when Steve Cooper took over, like a few months ago, and now they're like getting.
Look at them now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then we almost had two additional surprises. West Ham somehow managed to they scored an equalizer in the 91st minute, Declan Rice, and then in the extra time, in the 121st minute, Gareth Bowen, it almost went to penalties, literally with the last kick of the game.
Tap in.
Won it for West Ham.
With a lovely little tap in.
Arguably might have been offside too, but let's not talk about that.
Who have West Ham got in the 5th round?
Southampton.
Southampton, yeah. Not such an easy game.
Away game as well.
Not such an easy game at St Mary's, but we've got quite a decent record there. So, we actually can go into this game with very little to worry about, providing we field the right players.
Yeah. Okay, guys, and obviously Liverpool beat Crystal Palace 3-1, and then Cardiff. Did I say Crystal? Okay, yeah. So I'm just trying to name the most interesting results. I guess Chelsea almost got knocked out. Yeah, they won it on penalties. They beat Plymouth on penalties. So is it championship side as well? Or?
No, they never won it on penalties. But Kepa saved. He saved a penalty in the last minute of extra time, didn't he? Mm-hmm. It would have gone to penalties.
Okay, guys. Sorry. And before we wrap this up, we need to talk about the AFCON as well. Yeah, a little bit. So obviously the Africa Cup of Nations. We know the winner now. It's Senegal. Yeah, yesterday they won on penalties, beat Egypt in the final. So Paul, you watched the match, yeah? So you fell asleep despite at the beginning of this show, despite saying that you do enjoy that you have a soft spot for goalless draws. You somehow fell asleep during that game. What happened there, Paul?
I don't know. I had a few beers, but I think it was. I'm disappointed. I fell asleep because in extra time, you wanted to go to penalties, like with West Ham and Kidderminster. You wanted to go to penalties because you've suffered through the extra time period. So, and I could have watched penalties, but I fell asleep. And I wanted Egypt to win. I know.
Why?
Well, I just like the team and the way they played. They
You
weren't
like
the best
Salah. You
players.
like Salah. Come on.
And I love Salah, yes.
Hey, Paul, I'm sorry, but like Egypt have won it 7 times already. Senegal, it was their first time ever. Clive, what do you think? Isn't this a brilliant story when there is a team that have never won anything and then they win it? Can you just, it's just so exciting.
Yeah,
like, isn't it?
I didn't really follow much of the competition, and I didn't watch the final. I kind of kept an eye on it and kept track of some of the results and stuff. But my brother-in-law is Ghanaian, so he followed it quite closely. And although I was going to watch the game with him, but he actually had got COVID at the moment, so I couldn't go there. But he phoned me after the game, and he was whooping and wailing like it was Ghana that had won. He was so happy because he said, that Senegal have always come in as the underdog. They've never got past the quarterfinals, I believe he said. And then all of a sudden they're in the final against probably arguably one of the best African nation sides, and they won.
But it was a deserved win, in my opinion. Okay, let's put aside some of the diving. There was a bit too much diving, from Mane, in my opinion. It was a bit too much for my tastes, Paul. I'm sorry, but it was. He got away with it, really. The referee should have sent him off. But despite all that, I thought Senegal were the better team. I don't know,
Senegal were the favourites.
I thought they played really well. And even in the extra time, I thought they had more chances. And it was the best player of the game was the Egyptian keeper.
Yeah,
he was the best, by far the best player of the game. He was amazing that match. Clive, you said that you kept, I like these two expressions, they're kind of similar here in this context. I kept an eye on it. I kept track of stuff. So it means like I was watching, you were watching it, you were kind of watching it, but maybe...
I wasn't actually watching the games, but I was watching... looking at reports on the games and listening to newscasts and stuff.
So basically, you were not giving it your full attention, but you were trying to stay informed.
Yes,
to stay up to speed.
I liked Yaya Toure. Well, it was just interesting having Yaya Toure as a pundit in the studio, and I thought he made a really good point that I've been thinking about today, and I put it in my Facebook group. He said how African nations don't have a chance to win the World Cup. Well, they don't have much of a chance to win the World Cup because it's only 4 or 5 teams that qualify from Africa, and Europe has 13 teams in the World Cup. So he was saying how AFCON is their chance to win a major tournament. They've never got close in the World Cup, and he thinks it's unfair that Europe has 13 teams and Africa only has 4 or 5, and South America only has 4 or 5. Asia
doesn't have that many. Come on,
3 or 4. Yeah.
Well, South America, I mean, there are not that many countries, not as many countries as in Africa, I think, right? So I don't know how you really, I don't know how you really measure this anyway. Like, it's difficult to. It must be about politics.
That might be revisited, and then they might balance it up a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know what?
The thing that frustrates me a little is that there are certain elements of the club support, and I'm not talking about West Ham. I'm talking about generally any club around the country. They complain about the timing of the AFCON, and they complain that some of their best players are leaving to go to this tournament, and that they're kind of putting pressure on those players to not go.
Yeah.
If you kind of get me, they wouldn't do that to, Declan Rice or Jack Grealish or Harry Kane or whoever. They wouldn't do it to an English player, especially. I mean, like, we've got a World Cup during the winter next year.
This year, isn't it?
Yeah.
This December.
Oh, this year.
It's
Sorry,
this year,
we've moved on. It's okay. I will catch up in a minute. But we've got the World Cup in December this year, which means that Premiership has to stop
in Qatar. Yeah,
and all of our English players have got to go to Qatar, and there will be no Premiership or Championship football.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
It's
so are all those guys are moaning about about the African nations? Are they now going to be moaning at the home nations?
No, they are not. It's not a level playing field, we could say. It's
no,
not a level.
It's not. There's a very large dose of selfishness in there, really.
Yep. No, absolutely.
And I for one, I mean, we only lost one player, and okay, he's one of our better players, in Ty Benrahma. He's becoming one of our starting 11. He's one of our established starters.
Algerian, yeah.
He's Algerian, and unfortunately, he did come home early. But he slotted straight back into the team, and we were very fortunate for that to happen. I would not have been giving him added pressure by being one of the people that are against him going to that tournament. I think it's very selfish of the the club fans to be that simple-minded, and it is simple-minded. Like you said, that is their best chance of winning a top tournament.
It's a big tournament for the players.
Yeah, massive. And it's all the African nations, all 106 of them or whatever it is can enter. So I just feel that there's a certain element of people that need to really kind of have a look at it from a clearer perspective, rather than being
hypocrisy, we could call it as well. Yeah,
that's the word I have been hunting for about 30 seconds.
Hypocrisy. Yeah.
It doesn't do itself justice sometimes, though. Sorry to say this, but I think the stadiums were half full. Even for the final, every match was half full. Even Cameroon, the host country, in their matches, they were less than half full. The stadiums, I don't know. Maybe is it too expensive for the people to buy tickets or something? I don't know why.
There was not much noise. Yeah, in the
stadiums were half full.
I can only sort of speak from the point of view that my brother-in-law has kind of given me an insight into, where he said that a few years back, when he was back at home in Ghana, there was a AFCON competition. I can't remember where it was. Maybe it was in Nigeria or somewhere like that. It wasn't too far for him to travel. And he said to me, I could probably get to the stadium for less than £30 from Ghana.
Yeah.
He said, but getting into the stadium would cost me a month's wages.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like that. I think something happened in one match, didn't it? The Comoros versus somebody, and the Comoros took a lot of people there, and 8 people died outside the stadium, I think. Yeah, I think it has some issues like that. I think the refereeing was banana. It was ridiculous at times as well.
What happened? There was one match where the referee blew the whistle, ended the game in the 85th minute. Yeah. What was that about?
And then restarted it again.
Yeah.
And then played it through to the 89th minute, and then blew the whistle again.
And then he stopped it again. And then when the game ended, they were already in the changing rooms, and they realized it had been a mistake, and they asked one of the teams to come back. The team that was losing that game, but asked them to come back, and they said, "No, we are not. We are not doing it anymore."
No, we're not coming out there for 60 seconds, you helmet.
They were
my
already
God.
in the showers, And
Yeah.
I thought this wouldn't even happen at the village level here in my country. Like,
It's just a bit of.
it's a farce. That's a good word to use. Farce. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, as I said, I didn't really watch any of the games or anything, but I'm quite well informed about that incident. There's been plenty of media coverage and social media coverage on it and stuff. It's well documented now.
But I
I've
have to
seen
say, I did enjoy that penalty shootout. It was just, I was not invested in either of the teams, but I gradually started cheering for Senegal, and I wanted them to win so badly. And I was actually quite happy. And I saw there was an ex Slavia Prague. Slavia Prague is currently the best team in the Czech Republic. Ex Slavia Prague player Abdullah Sima, who is currently on loan in Stoke City. They bought him. Brighton bought him. But they sent him on loan to Stoke City, and he is Senegalese, So he went live on his Instagram, and I didn't even know I was following him, and suddenly he was there, happy that they had won. It was so cool. But something Salah did, Mr. Henriquez, one of our guests, a Manchester United fan, said that he liked what Salah did with the keeper when Mane took the penalty. Tell us what he did, Paul. He's your player, so both of these players are yours. So
yeah, so I think Salah tried to get into Mane's head a little bit. So they got a penalty after 10 minutes of the match. It was around 10 minutes of the match. They got a penalty. Mane was taking it. So Salah went to the Egyptian keeper and was talking to the keeper, trying to say, like, look, I know where he's going. He's going to go here. But then Mane, because Mane's a lunatic, Mane came over to Salah and was like, I know what you're doing. And he went like that to the goalkeeper. I'm going that corner. I'm going that corner. And then he hit it in the other corner and the keeper saved it.
Unbelievable, yeah.
But yeah,
do you know what? Egypt.
Telling lies never pays off.
Yeah, Egypt played 4 120-minute matches in 12 days. Did you know that, Paul? Did you know that?
Well, this is why I wanted Egypt to win. I just felt they were so stoic and like they relied on Salah to get them a goal, and everyone else just defended, really.
Yeah.
And they played against some really tough teams like Ivory Coast, Senegal. In the semi-final, who did they play? They beat on penalties. Cameroon.
Cameroon, yeah. That's the home side, right? Cameroon.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I just think they worked hard to get to that final. Yeah.
Right. So I just want to ask you, obviously, Salah, the biggest star of your team. Do you think that this might take its toll on him a little bit? Do you think he will now be a bit tired? And
it's a good question. Yeah, it might a little bit. He will be disappointed. You could see he was visibly disappointed. But we've got a big month, Liverpool, I think. And yeah, we need Salah. We don't need Mane as much now. We have Luis Diaz in his position, but like also Mane is still one of the best around, I think.
I think you should make that the best. He's the best left winger in Premiership by far.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
What about what's his name? Your defender that kind of likes to play as a left midfielder, Clive. What's his name? I forgot his name. Masuaku, yeah. He scored a fantastic goal against Chelsea. Come on. What a world-class finish that was.
Yeah, not bad for a cross, was it?
Yeah.
He actually said on his Twitter or Instagram or whatever it was, I mishit the cross and scored a goal. So
well, kudos to him for being honest, at least.
Oh gosh, yeah.
All
But
right.
then, like I said, lying never pays off.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you very much for featuring today, guys. We made it a little bit longer today, and that's because it's so cool to talk to you. And there are so many things to discuss. Yeah. And we didn't even have that many Premier League matches yet. We ended up talking about almost everything. Right. So thank you very much. And I want to thank all the people watching, because at one point we had, I think, 9 people watching live, which I don't know if you, Clive, you invited your entire channel or something, or Paul, but so many people watching. I don't know where these people are coming from.
One or two would have popped in, definitely, yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
No
And if you want to help the channel, give us a thumbs up, smash that like button, and yeah, good luck to Liverpool, good luck to West Ham, and
good luck to Arsenal.
Thank you. We will need it.
Yeah. What he's hang on that way. What he said. I can't say it. Those words won't come out, I'm afraid. But
All right.
good luck for the rest of the season, lads, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, go on.
No, go on. No. Come on. This is
now.
Yeah.
West Ham are 5th at the moment, aren't they? But like a few teams underneath have got games in hand. So
yes, indeed, yeah. We can't afford to make any more slip-ups now.
Yeah,
they actually. West Ham are playing Watford tomorrow. Yeah, so it's the team. They now have Roy Hodgson. How do you pronounce his name? Hodgson. Yeah, Roy Hodgson. Yeah. And he's very defensive-minded manager, yeah. So let's see what happens there, yeah. Another chance for Declan Rice to prove to Paul that he's worthy of his name. And
come on, Declan, I know we can do it. Yes.
All right, guys, take care, yeah.
Thank you very much. And lovely to meet you, Paul.
And you, Clive, take care, buddy. Good luck with everything. Thank you. Yeah.
Cheers, buddy. No doubt I'll see you again. And Zenek, thank you. Lovely to see you again, sir.
It's always nice to have you guys on. Bye.
Thank you. Bye now. Bye.